Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And this is my first impressions look on the Adidas D Rose Son of Chai. So D Rose has a new budget shoe and it's only 100 bucks. And there are two colorways, so there is this colorway and a red and white colorway as well. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. I heard a rumor that D Rose is not going to have a signature shoe anymore. And that kind of sucks, but I guess that does make sense. So this may as well be his last shoe. And of course, he had the 773 line, but I guess they kind of like did away with that line and introduced this shoe. So again, if you guys want to cop, links are below, but let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And the traction looks extremely aggressive and it has a lot of flex screws, right? So as far as the pattern goes, we pretty much have a full-on herringbone throughout this entire outsole. And then here in the heel, we have the D Rose logo. And also in this colorway, it seems like a semi-translucent pattern as well. But anyways, how does the bite feel? The bite feels extremely good. So just trying it out here on my wood floors, the bite seems really hard. And also there is a nice loud squeak to it as well. As you guys all know, I like to have a loud squeak in my shoes. It's just a little preference, you know, that obviously doesn't really affect performance. And as far as the durability goes, the durability also seems like it's going to be very, very good. The rubber is super hard, the grooves are very deep, and there are a lot of grooves. So I feel like durability, if you're going to play on an outdoor court, you should probably be fine with this rubber outsole. So the traction, I'm not really worried about at all. I feel like it's going to be very, very good. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, when I first got it, I was like, ew, what the heck? You know, it's just like the Adidas patented flat outsole, you know what I mean? So here in the heel, we have a nice curved shape actually. You know, it's pretty rounded and we have a fully exposed bounce midsole. So that allows for a lot of compression. It doesn't feel clunky or anything here in the heel. Here in the forefoot though, we have, I mean, it's pretty flat. There's a little bit of curve here at the tip of the toe, but there is a lot of forefoot flex. Look at that. Like, it's super flexible here, so it doesn't feel super clunky or anything, but I feel like it might be a little bit of a slapper because of the flat shape, which of course isn't a huge deal. I'd rather have like a slapper than like a super clunky shoe, especially here in the heel. So I'm liking the heel to toe transition so far. All right, moving on to the cushioning setup, we got full length bounce. It actually says bounce in big letters here on the medial side of the shoe in the forefoot. And bounce, as you guys all know, it's super nice, and bounce is bouncy, you know, and also has a good amount of compression. As far as the court feel goes, court feel actually seems pretty damn nice, especially here in the forefoot. It gets a little bit thicker here in the heel, so there is a little bit of an offset. And here in the heel, like I mentioned, it's fully exposed. I mean, it is a little bit caged, I guess, because of this external TPU heel counter. It kind of dips into the midsole a little bit, but there still is a good amount of compression. It feels nice, so you get a good amount of compression, and obviously it's probably going to be bouncy because it is bounce foam here in the heel, right? But as far as the actual step and comfort goes, it's not that nice, right? So for the insole, I mean, I would say this insole is really nice for Adidas. You know what I mean? Like, Adidas makes some really thin, crappy insoles, and in this shoe, it's like there's a little bit of foam to it, but it's still not that nice. And then as far as the strobo board goes, it's a really stiff strobo board actually. So you don't really feel the bounce cushion or anything right underneath the foot, which kind of sucks. So the step and comfort, I definitely think could be improved. But of course, as I play in it, hopefully the strobo board gets a little bit softer and breaks in. We'll have to see on that. But as of right now, the bounce cushion is feeling nice so far. I actually like it. The only thing with bounce cushion, of course, that I don't like is that it's a high density foam, which means it's basically heavy. This shoe is probably going to be heavy, and it feels kind of heavy, you know, probably around like the 13, maybe even 14 ounce range. We'll have to see on weight. We'll get into that. As far as the materials go, here in the toe box, we have a very low quality kind of like nubuck material or synthetic suede material, and I don't know, like, I'm just not a big fan of covering the toe, you know what I mean? Like, on top of the toe is where you need the least amount of material or support. I guess if you want something on top of your toe for like toe protection, if someone like steps on your foot, I guess that makes sense. But for actual basketball and like when you're moving and stuff, you don't really need support on top of your toes. You need support more like on the lateral side of the shoe, you know what I mean? So that doesn't really make sense to me. As far as the quality goes, it's pretty bad actually, but like it's not that bad on foot though, you know. It's not the thinnest material. I would actually say there is a little bit of thickness to it, but it conforms to your foot like very well. There's no pinching or anything, and it's nice and cozy. And then coming here into the midfoot, we pretty much have a textile material, and you can actually see through it. You know, it's see-through through these little panels in the midfoot area. And also we have this cool little design. It's pretty much embroidered onto the upper. It's just like lines, but then it goes through the lateral and medial side of the shoe. That looks pretty cool. And then coming here into the ankle area, like I mentioned before, we have an external TPU heel counter with the Adidas logo and some screen mesh. And it also feels like there is an internal TPU heel counter as well. And then as far as the tongue goes, there is a good amount of padding actually on the tongue. It feels nice and cozy. The tongue is a half booty construction tongue as well. And then coming here into the ankle area, I would say there's an average amount of padding as well. So it feels pretty nice and cozy here in the back of the shoe, and then here in the front of the shoe, it feels nice and cozy and also pretty damn comfortable. So the quality is pretty bad, but I actually like how it feels on foot. Which I guess is a good thing. You know, that's pretty much all you want from a performance basketball shoe, I guess. If it was a little bit more expensive, I feel like I would knock some points off for the quality of the materials, but for $100 you can't really complain, right? All right, moving on to the fit of the shoe. So I went true to size, not true to my Adidas size. I went true to size, and this shoe kind of runs short actually. So for example, if your Nike size is a size 10, your Adidas size would probably be a size 9.5, because usually Adidas shoes run long. So I went true to size, and my toes like go right to the edge of the shoe, and I would say even it's a little short, you know what I mean? And if you guys can see, this shoe is very, very pointy as well. So I feel like if I went up half a size, it would have been a little bit more comfortable for me. But as you guys all know, I like to have a very snug fit, so hopefully when I'm playing in it, like the tip of my toes don't jam or like hit the front of the shoe. If that doesn't happen, then I'll probably have no problems with it. As far as the width goes, I would actually say the shoe is slightly narrow, which is weird for a D Rose shoe. I mean, his shoes usually run like a little bit roomy here in the toe box and also wide, so that's kind of interesting, right? And also here in the toe box, it's very, very snug, which I like as well. And with this synthetic material over the toe box, I don't think this material is going to stretch all too much. So the fit you get is pretty much the fit you're going to stay with. All right, moving on to the support and lockdown. As for lateral containment, I feel like you're going to be good, right? So this material feels extremely supportive. It's not stretchy at all. So for lateral containment, I mean, there's not a whole lot of lateral counters, but this material seems supportive enough. So I don't think there's going to be any issues with lateral containment here in the forefoot. And then here in the heel, we have an external and internal TPU heel counter. As for lateral stability, Adidas shoes never really have a problem with this, right? They make a very, very wide and also super low to the ground base. So I don't think this shoe is going to have any issues with that. And as far as the ankle support goes, it seems pretty good. You know, when I tighten the laces all the way and very, very tight, especially here in the last couple of eyelets, it seems like it restricts a little bit of ankle movement. So ankle support seems like it's going to be good as well. And also, which something that's interesting is that when I saw this, it looks like, you know, kind of like flywire cables for the last two eyelets, right? And it looks like it kind of wraps around the back of the shoe. So I thought like when you tighten the shoe, it kind of like tighten the back of the shoe as well a little bit onto your Achilles, but that's actually not the case. When you pull on one side of the cable, the other cable does not tighten. So that does kind of suck, I guess, but you know, it doesn't really matter all too much. All right, as far as the weight goes, like I said, it feels a little heavy, not too heavy actually. I'm guessing like 13 ounces maybe. Okay, so 12.8 ounces, not super heavy actually. So I guess I was incorrect. Yeah, 12.7 ounces, but that is a little bit heavier than average. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces, but I mean, that's pretty much average weight, you know what I mean? So that is kind of surprising, you know. This shoe, like when you first look at it, like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, kind of looks a little bulky and a little heavy. But on foot, it actually doesn't feel like that, you know. The materials, especially here in the midfoot and here in the toe box, I mean, it's not super thin, but also it's not like super bulky or anything, and it doesn't use a crazy amount of padding like the Dawn issue line does. So yeah, I mean, this shoe is feeling very, very good so far. It feels cozy, feels comfortable, and the traction is feeling really good as well. As far as the aesthetics go, I like it. This actually might be my favorite shoe aesthetically that Adidas has to offer for a basketball shoe. I feel like it looks better than the Dame 7 and the Harden Volume 5 even, and also the Dawn Issue 3. So good job to whoever designed this. A budget shoe looks better than other signature shoes, just in my opinion. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, as far as my first impressions go, I'm really liking this shoe so far. I mean, like, I really like it. It's $100, which is super cheap. I like bounce cushion. The weight, it's not too heavy. The traction is feeling top tier. Materials, although it is, you know, a little cheap, it's feeling pretty damn nice on foot. And also, I like the shoe aesthetically. And like, the colorway is pretty sick as well. So my first impressions of the shoe are really, really good, and I'm looking forward to playing in this shoe. So anyways, that about wraps up this first impressions look. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.